Hey, David, I want to ask you a question.
What's with the axe? Oh God, no. Not again. No.
Thurman, I'm going to let
Swing that
you
axe.
open this up because I think this was your concept, right? Or was it David's?
Yeah, both of ours. Okay.
All right,
So-
both of you. Okay, both of you open the concept one word at a time.
All right.
Own it.
All right, never mind. This is a bad idea.
Nah, that caught me off guard. But anyway, honestly, this video is about the interesting change that we've been seeing in Jump. Now, we always talk about Jump as Jump researchers glasses. You can't see, right?
We actually
I got my
have our
monocle.
fucking. We have spies that we pay with fucking like I don't know Wendy's coupons, and they like fucking hide out in the bushes outside of fucking Jump.
That's where my Wendy's coupons went red?
Actually, yeah. There's so many
it's
of them on
funny.
your fridge, dude.
Because it's funny. Because we all know that Jump is very ruthless when it comes to their series. There's no sugarcoating it. They don't
Or
give
at
a
least
fuck.
they used to be.
If your series clearly isn't doing well, popularity wise or sales wise, you're out of there. But for some reason, which I believe me and David have the reason, but for some reason, for the past, I want to say like 4 months, 3 months, they haven't axed a single series. We have had the same lineup of series in Jump for the past 4 months, if someone can quote me on that. So it's been going
So
on my
I just
phone
tried
right
to
now.
look up who, like, if they had changed like editors and like leaders or whatever, like whoever the fuck is on the Wikipedia, it's listed as editor in chief. The most recent editor in chief came in 2017. So
Mhm.
There's no changes in leadership. And we're not talking about axing due to controversy. We're talking about axing and the fact that your sales have tanked, your series has gotten an abrupt end. The last one that ended, I believe, was Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
No, the last one that was
Oh.
ended.
That is an act age.
Okay, so the last series of axings was, in fact, it was Mitama Security Busters, Spirit Busters, and Time Paradox. Both got axed on August 30th, and
Damn.
Bone. So the last select was like Bone Collection was August 23rd, last chapter, and then Mitama Security Busters and Time Paradox Ghost Rider both axed August 30th. And then
So is it
after
possible that I know Thurman, you creep on the sales a lot. Is it possible that everything's just doing well enough to not need axing, or is there some or is there some like weird mercy going through the offices right now, like Christmas miracle? You don't get canceled for now.
Well, I mean, they barely have a magazine at this point. There's just barely enough series to
I disagree with that
having a magazine.
entirely. Black Clover, Jujutsu Kaisen, Chainsaw Man, One Piece.
They are on that minimal magazine at this point. And I think that there's a little bit more of the fact that we have COVID going on and all of these other little outlying factors that everything's being more remote.
Mm-hmm.
So creating a new series that wasn't already in the works before that
I see.
is a little bit more difficult. That's my headcanon right now.
Well, so there's a blue-haired goblin answering the question in place of Thurman that I asked. So go ahead.
So, but David's basically right on the money here.
Really?
I think one of the biggest reasons is COVID. I think, but at the same time, I'm like, COVID was still going on during August.
It is
and
getting
we still had
worse.
two
I don't know if
series
that means
getting
anything.
out.
I don't know if it's getting worse in Japan though. You know what? I'm your researcher. I'm gonna check how it's
Yeah,
doing in Japan.
because the last series that got axed was in August, and we're in basically November, about to be in December. So that's like what? I think that's 3 months, right? I think that's
September,
August,
October,
September,
November.
October,
Yeah, we're
November.
sitting at like almost 3 months now. Yeah.
yeah. So it's almost 3 months.
Yeah,
So-
no, it's doing pretty bad in Japan too. It looks like everyone's at their peak right now. Because Japan, as of the most recent statistic, so today, yeah, so they went from reporting just a couple hundred cases a day. Keep in mind, there's a small country. So like back in October, oh no, but that doesn't work either actually, because you said they stopped in August.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't work because they had a peak in late July. early August, they were peaking. They had 1,000+ cases a day. And then it went down to very low in the middle of September, and now it's peaking again.
So if COVID's not really the case, then what? Because I'm curious, because we all know that the Jump doesn't give a fuck. Like, if your series is making the money, you're gone. So 3 months, because I want to remember, like, because the good thing about the Shonen Jump app is you can always do the math when it comes to, like, when each series has been axed. Because we had, like, Guardian of the Witch was axed in June, Zitman was axed in April, like, Samurai was axed in March.
Are you sure this is for sure abnormal? Like, there's never been, you don't think this is normal?
No, I don't think so. Because each one...
This is the longest we've seen the same series sitting at the bottom of the rankings for a while now.
Yeah, because most of the new series now are around axing chapters. The Hardball Cop and Dolphins at chapter 19, Magu-chan's at chapter 20.
You know what that means? Give it like half a month to a month, and it's just gonna be axing spree, like fucking 10 series at once, just dead. Thanos snap of the axing.
We also have to take in consideration, like, because new series usually be already in the magazine too, and we're just now getting new series. That's also a factor we have to take into account too, because they're not just gonna axe a series and then leave like an empty spot hole in the magazine. They're gonna axe a series, they're gonna replace it. And
so we just got Build King. Did anything else just get added recently?
Build King, this new one called Sakamoto Days is gonna be added next week, just tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys heard, my roommate's Alexa just randomly fucking yelled at me, and I don't know if she thought I said that. Scared the fuck out of me because I'm like alone.
So Sakamoto Days was a one-shot a while back, and it's getting serialized now. I'm hoping it does really well because I like the one-shot. It's a fucking... I'm hoping they also don't tone it down because it was pretty brutal, the one-shot was.
I wonder if it's possible if, like... maybe they are prepping to axe if they're adding a bunch of new series now, so they can like get like a couple new series in and then sweep.
Yeah. So my headcanon read was that since we got the news that new series is getting axed, my headcanon is that if your series hasn't gotten a color page by the end of this year, it's on the top block. So the series that got color pages of the new gen.
No, you're not counting because every series when it starts it gets a color page.
No, I'm counting color pages via popularity.
Oh, okay.
Like not at the start, but like if you have like technically a second color page during your run so far.
All right.
So Roboco and Roboco got one. Phantom Seer got one at chapter fucking 12. And then Magu-chan got one. So the only ones that didn't are
Has Morrigan got one at all?
I don't think so.
Or our Gravity Boys, because those are the two that are like insta-axe at the next fucking axe phase, because they've been at the bottom of the barrel for a while now.
I haven't seen any Gravity Boys get one. I know the ones that I know got one that I saw were I know Yozakura Family just got another one. Phantom Series
is that the one that Luke keeps telling me to catch up with?
Yeah, that's the other spy series in Jump right now. It is fucking phenomenal. That's what I've been reading on stream lately.
And it's not in that one. You don't think is in danger of being axed?
Oh no, it used to be, not anymore.
Oh, okay, good to know.
Jump has to realize that it has a fan base now, and they waited too long to axe it. So now if they axe it, I mean they still can, but that's money they're losing.
I would love it if like the actual angry mob showed up if they act serious. That's where we should be putting our attention. Stop with this political shit. Let's fucking mob over like can we like retroactively like angry mob over fucking Demon's Plan and Red Sprite?
Yeah,
Red Sprite, yes. Demon's Plan, nah.
I'm so mad those two series. Oh, I'm so upset about that.
Hungry Mary, I'm more mad about.
I don't remember much about Demon's Plan. I just know Andy really liked it, and I thought Thurman did too.
Yeah, I really like Demon's Plan. But anyway, moving on. So so 3 series like out of the new gen got, and the ones that didn't were Hardball Cop and Dolphin, Air Gravity Boys.
I do want that to survive so bad.
Same, and High School Family, and then I don't know if More King got one, but clearly we have our series that are on the chopping block, and it's interesting that they waited this long. And honestly, like it feels so weird to see the same manga and Jump for 3 months for a very long time, because Like,
You're so used to just revolving door in, out, and out.
yeah, because
Yeah.
like the series that are clearly they're still new gen, but have like I don't have to worry about them because clearly Jump has made their make sure that they're staying. Was Mashle is staying. It has good sales from what I can see, and it's hasn't been in the bottom 5 in the rankings forever. Um,
It was at the beginning, but
yeah, it was, but not anymore. Yozakura family's here to stay. Like, there's no thought about that. And then Undead Unluck is here to stay.
Ugh.
So, like, because it's funny because Undead Unluck and Mashle both are 40 chapters. Well, Mashle's at 39, but those two series are here to stay. And it's interesting because, like, I said this to David, but I really feel like Yozakura family got the luck of the draw because the manga that it was serialized with was mostly like its Shield. You know what I mean, Red?
What do you mean? No, explain.
Like, there were a lot of manga that
it was getting serialized with Kimetsu no Yaiba, The Promised Neverland, and other series that were like right on that cusp of the ending, wasn't it?
yeah.
Oh, so like by the nature that they all ended at once, it wasn't canceled because they needed more like space to fill.
Yeah, and plus it was getting hit by other series that were bad. Like, because Yozakura family was like at the bottom. Like, it was at the bottom. Like, I thought it was gonna get axed, but the gag manga Material Security Busters got axed in its place, and then like everything else like Ghost Time Paradox and Bone Collection and all that got axed, and Yozakura family is still here, and because of that, it has a fan base now. You know, it has a color page and 2 color pages now, I believe, and everything. Yeah. And I don't know, the manga still seems to be doing okay. Like,
it's not anything to write home about. It's like our Western version of Bleach over here.
yeah, like when it comes like Hardboiled Cop and Dolphin, like most like Roboco, Hardboiled Cop and Dolphin, and I believe Magu-chan were in the top hundreds. And then like the third week of the short Oricon, Hardboiled Cop and Dolphin got past the top 100. It was like 101. So it was doing okay as far as like new series goes until like the third week, which is still pretty good. But my issue is that it hasn't got a color page, because we know that color pages are indication that a series is popular, and and all the extra shit. So my headcanon is if it hasn't gotten its official like color page, like second color page technically, by now it's on the chopping block. Because I mean, I know next week Black Clover is the lead color page, and I think Chainsaw Man gets another color page. Let me look. Let me see.
So the other thing that we have going for us right now is, like we've been talking about for a while now in other videos, is like we also have this other like presumably close to end series for other things. Like Chainsaw Man is nearing its climax. We have also like a few new series coming in. So it's at that cusp again of where some series will have that padding to get a little bit more of a fan base going. But what we really need to see is like these series that are struggling in a weekly series, maybe, and this is something that we can basically turn this into a second video that we've been pitched for a while now. It's like, if we want to see series wrap up more naturally and maybe build more of a fan base, maybe they would work better as like a monthly series or a bi-weekly series, like we see with Spy X Family, for example, or even in V-Jump, like Boruto and Super, That way we actually have series be able to establish what the hell they want to do properly before we end up seeing them exit the fucking lineup,
Mm-hmm. All right, hold on. Keep talking, David. I'm still looking.
Sorry, I've been muted for a bit, so I hope you weren't trying to ask me something. I had to do something.
Yeah. No, Red, I think you can agree with me here. Like, letting series go to another magazine. We even saw this at the end game with Gintama.
Mm.
Like, being able to go to a different magazine like Giga or V Jump or something else to where it can wrap up its story properly, or even do this wonderful 180 and be like, oh, now the series makes more sense because we have time to actually write a script. I think even Promised Neverland would have worked better like that, where it was able to sit down and develop plot better.
I like the idea of there being like a multi-tiered system. So like, you're trying to write, and like, if you get popular, you move up, and if you're not too popular, you move down. But like, being axed in Jump wouldn't be like the finale. It's not like, all right, you're over. You would go down to a lesser magazine, but you still have a chance to come. Like, you get a second and third chance, basically. I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah. Okay. So look, I found it. So the Black Clover gets a color page. Build King got a color page, obviously, because it's new, and then Mashal got a color page. Is getting a color page tomorrow.
I'm sure Mashal is fine, from what I understand.
Yeah, Mashal it's fine. So everything else, from what I can gather, it is not getting a color page. Next week, however, next week for issue number 52, Sakamoto Days is getting a color page off for obvious reasons. Magu-chan and Ayakashi Triangle is getting a color page. And then Jujutsu Kaisen is going to be on the cover of next week's magazine. So,
Thurman, do you have like volume sales up?
Yeah, I know we have new reprint information.
Has Moriking even got a volume released, or a Gravity Boys? How are their volume sales doing?
Their volume sales? Let me go on Oricon real quick.
Because that would be another telltale factor, like how their volume sales are going. That would be another one where we are able to actually dive into like why they're staying. Because sometimes they don't, like Red, for example. Hunter x Hunter does not do good in the ranking system at all.
It doesn't. Hold on, to clarify, it's not that it doesn't do good at all. It's just not consistently. Like, I've seen it be anywhere from like the top to the middle to the bottom. It's inconsistent, and I think that's probably because like people that like come in, for years of it being on hiatus, they come in the first chapter, it's like got 3 pages of just text. Like, what the fuck is this, right? So yeah, they don't really rely on the rankings for Hunter x Hunter because it's kind of like, it's grandfathered in. It's Hunter x Hunter, it's Togashi, it's gonna sell like fucking hotcakes. And literally, like every time Hunter x Hunter has a new volume, it's like it's number 1, like literally, yeah.
That's what I was getting at. Like, it survives. Fuck hiatuses. If this was a normal series, it would get axed immediately. If you took a fucking year and a half off, like,
I think it's just because it's Togashi, really. Like, he's got the clout, and his volumes sell. Like, that's about it. The only reason like Kishimoto's clout wore off because it wasn't selling good enough. You know what I mean? But like, you see what clout gets you. Like, the clout got him 50 chapters, even though it was doing horrible. You know what I mean?
It got 3 volumes of dog shit.
From its second, I can only give you its second. For its first week, its second volume sold 5,585 for its second volume. Mm-hmm. So maybe.
I don't think. Okay. I think that's not. I guess we the problem is we don't know what's good and what's bad because it's really only being sold in Japan, which is a small country. So
yeah, that's mid ground basically from what I've seen in Oricon. Not horrible, not the greatest, but it's definitely not on.
Alexa, what's the population of Japan?
Hey Google. What's the population of Japan?
126 million people.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no, 5,000 people out of that.
Yeah, well, 5,000 people.
I've seen like worse and I've seen better. And
Alexa, how many weebs are in Japan? Let's narrow this down.
Yeah, it's definitely not the greatest sales. But what I was getting at with Hunter x Hunter is like it survives on its sales alone, and that's on a fucking like I'm going to stick my dick out on the desk and take a year and a half off to play fucking Dragon Quest clout.
Or just deal with his crippling back pain. You've read his fucking author comments, right? About like crawling from his bed to his toilet. Like the man genuinely has medical problems.
Yeah. I'm not making light of his medical problems at all. Like, he deserves to be able to rest. And I think all
Here's what we can make fun of. His stubbornness. The man should just fucking hire an artist, goddammit.
Yeah. Have wifey do it.
Yeah. Oh, God. I wanted to make a bad joke.
Because my thing is like, usually, because 5,000 not that good, not that great. But to be fair, that was the first week of it. But from basically, I have to go back and look and search. But our fans can do that for us because they're our fans. But from what I can gather, Gravity Boards isn't selling that well, comparatively to its higher tier stuff. But like even Magu-chan was selling decently well. Same with me and Roboco, and it's just showing you, and that's another thing. It's showing you that the audience clearly, because remember what I posted in the group chat, Red, about how like they had like Jujutsu Kaisen at the top, but most of like their lesser traditional shonen when they voted for were at the top of the ranking list. Like because when they asked fans like what manga are you liking, like the less traditional shonen at the top, while like the more traditional shonen at the bottom, like One Piece,
dude, like shit like Chainsaw Man,
Girl, Black Clover, and shit.
Yeah, the non.
And then it's funny. Go ahead.
Okay. You're right. The non-traditional, like the Chainsaw Mans, the fucking. Would you consider Jujutsu Kaisen a non-traditional?
No, that's definitely very traditional. It's just good.
I was gonna say it feels traditional, but yeah, no, I think of like Chainsaw Man is a perfect example. Like that. Literally, when I look at Chainsaw Man, that's like the future of manga. Like that kind of like off the walls, wacky shit, very unique. I'm trying to think of another example of that. Like even Spy X Family, that on like the less extreme side, like shit like that is what people are looking for now. I think there'll always be a place for long running like training, like My Hero Academia. You see, there's always gonna be, every generation will have one. I think one or two. Like My Hero Academia, Black Clover has that shit covered basically. But like you're definitely seeing a pathway open up for this less traditional, more short running series, which people still can't figure out that Chainsaw Man's gonna be short running.
So, can I slap my dick on the desk right now?
All right, we've made enough dick slap on desk metaphors for this video. Thank you.
Because even back then, like back in like the older era of Jump, like you had your Death Notes, your Assassination Classrooms, your Sket Dances, and all that extra stuff. But here it seems like they're trying to step away from your traditional, because they're always going to have like their traditional, at least like 4 or 5, to carry the magazine, and then you'll have like your gags, your sports, if you have any. Hasn't been a sport. It's funny we haven't gotten a sports manga in a minute, because that's usually what we're missing right now.
Yeah.
And then like and then you have like your romance series. So we have that. We never learn, So go ahead, David.
Thurman, so regarding sports manga, I pulled up like Nippon and Oricon top things here, and Haikyuu's still in the top rankings for volume sales right now. So you're still getting quote unquote that sports manga. But what actually got me here was like Demon Slayers, even in its light novels, are in the top 10. Like you have that drive for that fantasy shit. And then also just me flexing my SAO fan is like number 4 and number 9 are both Unital Ring volumes, so fuck you SAO haters. But like you're right, you have to have that multifaceted magazine, and that's where Jump is having that issue right now. I was like, it lost its big sports manga, it lost a lot of its gag. Like you got Magu-chan and Roboco and sort of Hardboiled Cop and Dolphin, but Magu-chan and Hardboiled Cop aren't ranking very well, so maybe they're just waiting to get another sports manga in there to slot in for Haikyuu, and they're waiting to get that another gag in there to axe the lower ranking of the two of them to slot in and try the dartboard method again, like they did when Bleach ended. Is like all of these things.
Imagine the fucking panic we're gonna see when One Piece ends.
Oh god,
yeah.
no.
Because if you think about it, because Jump always does this. Every time one of their long-running series ends that were like a staple of like that specific genre ends, they always try to rush and find a new one. Like when Haikyuu ends, I guarantee you they're gonna fucking try to find any new sports
Didn't Haikyuu
manga.
end? I thought it ended.
And then,
Yeah, now that Haikyuu ended, sorry, I should use some better phrasing there. I guarantee you they're going to try to find any new sports manga they can, whether the premise is good or not, to try to shoe it in there because they need a sports manga, because Kodansha, their competitor, have like I think 3 sports manga. They have Diamond Ace and Blue Lock, which are doing really, really good.
And isn't the Prince of Tennis still sort of kind of running?
Sort of, technically,
Yeah.
But it's just like because they have their they're a company. They know what they want. They know that there's always going to be someone coming to their magazine for something. There's going to be that one person who's coming to the magazine just to read One Piece. There's going to be that one person that's there just to read the gag series that they have. The thing is about the magazine is that when you buy a magazine, you're not going to buy even old people. When you see like your grandpa or grandma buy a newspaper or whatever, they're only going to read the newspaper for one thing. Like that's just common knowledge. People are only gonna buy certain like news stuff like that for only one thing or 2 things or whatever. That's why manga buying is so important. So like, there's gonna be that one person. Like if we were in Japan, me and you, David, we'd probably read fucking everything else in the magazine. But Red would probably just read One Piece, Doctor Stone, Chainsaw Man, My Hero, and that's it. And then probably
Dr. Stone.
No, well, I will say the thing about buying it physically, I think you're more likely to read everything when you have it physically. Like if I bought the physical magazine, I feel like I'd be more compelled to read everything in there just because I have it. You know what I mean? But with how it works digitally, I can just click on what I want.
Yeah, because some people, short attention spans are a thing now, so you're probably going to read something that interests you. Because
So I think you're both right here. Is like you have that with the digital format, like you have the click and read mentality, but when you have that physical print, like even when Shonen Jump was a thing, like Red and I still have our like actual magazines from back when
we have the very last physical magazine, both of us
I
do.
have a trunk full of volumes too.
I only ever bought because I remember I was in Meyer with my mom at the time, and I was like, oh, this is literally the last physical one they're ever selling. I might as well pick this up.
Yeah, but I have like an actual like military trunk full of Shonen Jump magazines from when I was subscribed to it when I was a kid. But like I would try
early OG anime adopter. I respect it.
I would try every series in there. Like that's how I fell in love with Nora, Last Chronicle of Devildom, and I ended up buying all of the physical volumes of that when they were getting printed. There was a lot of series that I got into just simply by that, and then I had retroactively went back and bought like certain manga from that, and then went and explored the anime from that. And there's series I'm like, well, this is garbage. I'll never touch it again, and I would never read it as long as it was printed in the magazine because I'm like, I don't like this. So you have both of those sides of things. But what really gets me, Thurman, is the way you worded it. Is like you have that mentality of like buying something for one specific thing. And that's something you very much saw back then. Is like I had friends at school that would buy the issues of Shonen Jump just to get One Piece or just to get Naruto before the volumes got out when I was in high school. Like they would go out and buy the magazine so they could read the latest one because they weren't savvy enough, I guess you would put it, is to go out and seek out the raws or the translations, because that was a thing that we had to do then, because before we got the catch up here in the States, like we were 5, 6, 7 volumes behind in any of those series at one point. And Red, you've told the story about half a dozen times where you would bought with your paycheck because you lived at home, like all of the volumes that got released that month of Naruto.
I remember, yeah. Well, no, I specifically remember when they did the catch up, and they decided, because before they did that, you were 20, 30 volumes behind Japan. Like Bleach was releasing like volume 29 when like, you know, fucking volume 50 was coming out in Japan. Like it was crazy. And I remember when they decided to catch up, whereas the normal release schedule was 1 volume every 3 months, they changed it to 2 volumes a month. It was intense. It was very fun.
Yeah, and then that catch-up period, like, I was doing the same thing with Naruto at that point.
Lol.
because I wasn't as into Bleach at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching the anime at that point, but like I was really into Naruto. And that's actually something I don't even own the entire manga collection of right now. I plan on completing it for completion's sake. But as jaded as my opinion is on that, catch the Kishimoto video, plugging our videos and videos we're filming the same day.
Mm-hmm.
But like that's that mentality that you see a lot of, and in Japan you see it with One Piece and Demon Slayer when it was running, and it's wild to see the human brain in action. And now that we don't have a sports manga and Jump, you're seeing Blue Lock succeed in Kodonashi. Now that we don't have a good gag series, you're seeing people step outside of a Shueisha imprint and going to Kodonashi, Seven Seas, Dark Horse style manga just to try and get their fix. And it's kind of cool to watch the psychological breakdown of the human mind and the weeb fandoms.
Yeah, it's interesting too.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Thurman.
because maybe the reason why they haven't been acting anything is for that very reason, you know. Because I mean, I think Jump and the editor in chief are comfortable with the manga that we have now, you know, because what we have now is
It's a good spread.
We don't really have like everything, you know. We don't have a sports manga. We don't really have, but we have stuff that are keeping people occupied, if that makes sense. It's something really need to replace, you know. Like I would almost think that Shonen Jump are testing the waters a bit to see like if not acting series is the future instead of just like, you know, acting series, but at least giving like a series like a 3-month advance. Because like Red, we talked about this. I think a year, like at least to like 50 chapters is a good point for a thing.
Mm-hmm. Not realistic for a business, obviously, if it's making you literally no money. But like, yeah, you got to find that fine line, you know. Because I mean, it's like Oda has said, and I'm sure he said this to like higher ups at Jump, like, you know, think the next you might be fucking axing the next One Piece right now. You know what I mean? You never know.
Yeah,
it's a game you're playing.
Because I mean.
Can we, by the way, start eking towards final thoughts? Because I'm exhausted and we're sitting at a half hour on the video.
So, like, Thurman, we've experienced a lot of shit over the last year in Jump history. Like, we've seen some of the big hits ending, and this is to wrap it all up.
Gotcha.
We saw controversy. We've seen all sorts of, like, little nuanced series getting this wild popularity with, like, Chainsaw Man, for example. Like, something that's so out of pocket for a Jump manga to succeed the way it has. And it started blowing up this year around the Bomb Devil arc. Like, that was this big, like, moment.
I remember, too, like, I did not expect that to blow up the way it did. I heard that, and I thought it was... Because it had a similar ridiculous name, like Robot X Laser Beam. You know what I mean? It sounded like, just like, okay, this is going to be dumb, gimmicky shit. And that's... Chainsaw Man is massive proof that you cannot judge a book by its cover.
Yeah, so I think that was a sort of turning point for Jump, is like, let's let authors experiment. And now you're seeing fingers getting ate, you're seeing actual devils, you're seeing all sorts of more creative things out of Jump manga than you would have expected even a year or 2 years ago. And right now, with this renaissance of like being able to try whatever the fuck we want, I think we've gotten to this point where like Shueisha as a whole is like, we'll let you sit there. And then with the whole COVID aspect, like getting manuscripts, getting into the magazine, getting into everything, I think is more of a challenge than it used to be. Because obviously, like, we're peaking, lowering in every country right now. But now with this like new spike here, like maybe it's getting to be an issue for them to deliver manuscripts, deliver like whatever pitches they want to do for that, and that's why it's taking so much longer for axing to happen. Or maybe like you said, like giving them a year to set a base to get in there. Like, okay, so you're not selling well, you need to pick it up. Okay, you really need to pick it up or you're going to be canceled. And then, or like, maybe we're just talking out of our asses.
Yeah, no, I don't see them ever doing that because like that would be so much wasted. You got to think like a business. You know what I mean? Like, and it's just a matter of how much heart do they want to have. You know what I mean? How nice are they feeling that day?
I like, honestly, I don't know why they just don't just move it to a different magazine. Like have a separate magazine for Act series, you know? Because I mean, like the thing is that
call it like Jump Second Chance. Like you get
like,
10 more
like,
chapters here.
the thing is that we have to understand, and we've seen this, is that even Act series still have fan bases growing.
Mhm.
Like I think one of the big examples was Zigga. I know a lot of people who were making fan art of one of the female characters who just got introduced before the series was axed. And I know there's a lot of people like me who still like Demon's Plan and Red Sprite and all this extra stuff, and we'll see a revival for this series, you know. So like, because the good thing about fiction is that no true series, whether it be a video game, manga, or whatever, really dies. There are 7 billion people on this earth. There's always going to be a fan base for something, no matter how stupid or short or whatever it is. There's always going to be a fan base and more from it, you know, if the demand may not be high, but there'll still be people that want to consume that product. So
can I bring a very controversial figure into this conversation really quick?
Yes.
So H.P. Lovecraft, massive dickhead, piece of shit, died, broke, fucking destitute, and look at how famous his work is now. Because he had that renaissance of like people falling in love with that style of horror.
Cult following, baby. Invader Zim literally fucking tanked when it was on Nickelodeon. Its ratings was low as fuck, and then it got canceled. And then a couple years later, some fucking goth kids found out that they love that shit, and then it took over Hot Topic for a couple years.
Still kind of took it over. You look at fucking any fiction, it has that phase of like not being given a shit about, to the hipsters, to the Renaissance, and then the wanting for more.
Yeah, because I mean, that's the issue thing. Like, I know, like, one of the big examples of this was the Three Stooges. I heard that they didn't get famous till after they passed away. Like, the Three Stooges was a big one. So it's just like, people, it's almost like a human trait to be like, we like this thing after it's over, you know? Like, we don't know what we miss until it's gone mentality.
There's a phrase that goes like, absence makes the heart grow fonder, right? And this goes for like relationships too, actually, which is why you should always spend some time apart occasionally. It's basically everything. Like whenever you don't have it, you're gonna want it more.
Yep.
Yeah.
The old montage for fame is like you're only famous after you're dead.
And that's generally why it's a good idea to end your fucking shit while people are still begging for more, rather than like keep it going forever until people are begging for it to stop. You know. Yeah.
And look to example for what I was saying, like fucking Michael Jackson after he died, like all of his music was in the top. Nirvana became even more popular after Kurt Cobain's death. Prince was literally the entire Apple charts when he died. It's wild to think what that does to it, but it's just proven fact. Like, it's disgusting and morbid, but
it's just how the human mind works. You know, if something goes away, you're gonna want to be like, "Fuck, let me go and remember everything about that thing." Now that it's gone, I can't fuck with it. That was the whole. Like, that was Unis Honest. Like Markiplier and Ethan's channel. Like that. Now the day that shit ended, they did a live stream, and the last 5 minutes of that live stream, 1.5 million people were watching.
Yeah, I have a screenshot from like the second it ended. Like their actual view count, it was fucking bonkers.
Yeah. Anyway,
So,
wrapping it up.
Final thoughts is I am all for this non-axing spree that Jump's doing. I personally wish they do it more, although, you know, that's never going to happen. There's still a business through and through. So if somebody's not making money, they're definitely going to do it. So Build King, you know, it's been a minute since we saw something new. So hopefully Build King and
Sakamoto Days
survive it. It
was 1.5 mil when the live stream ended, by the way.
Yeah. So like Build King looks like it's interesting. It looks very Toriko, even though I've never read Toriko, but it looks very, very Toriko. This clearly every manga has their style, and he clearly has his own style.
I want to hear King of Lightning's thoughts on Build King. That man was a fucking Toriko fan. Holy shit.
Yeah, and then Sakamoto Days looks interesting. So
Sakamoto, I want to succeed if it's as good as the one shot. The Bill King I read on stream last weekend, and I was not a fan. There are people that are very much in the mindset that it's the next greatest thing. I didn't see it.
Well,
But
if we can end this video, maybe I'll go read it.
so that's final thoughts for me.
Final
David,
thoughts
anything
for
else?
me is just fucking. I'll be curious if by the.
He'll be bi-curious. Okay.
I'll be curious if by the end of the year or the beginning of next year we don't see a massive purge of Jump. What their actual mindset is. I'd like to see like an interview with the editor-in-chief or something and be like, this is a new era for Jump where we give series more than fucking 20 chapters to get their dick off the ground or we end them.
That'd be great, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
You know their
I wanna
asses
know
aren't
the
gonna
mindset-
fucking get.
I wanna know the
Imagine
mindset
getting
of
an
that.
interview with fucking like a man. That'd be like getting an interview with like a manager at a Burger King. Like, hello, how are you running this Burger King?
Day to day and trying not to find somebody stoned off their mind on the grill.
Speaking of Burger King, have you noticed how like no one goes to Burger King anymore? Like no one ever goes to Burger King. Like no one talks about Burger King. You don't see ads for Burger King. It's just dead.
The last ad I saw was when they did like the Cheetos like shit.
That was like
they were
3
doing.
years ago, wasn't it?
It was like it was when we lived together actually.
Yeah.
So,
So coming up on 3
ago.
years ago, probably.
2-3 years ago, yeah, and then I don't know if it's the fact that we don't have cable or.
Ha! Yeah. Oh no, I remember what the last thing I saw was. They were trying to do some shit where they would like donate to streamers. Did you see that shit?
Oh yeah.
And it was
then
like
that
scummy as fuck. Yeah.
Didn't Ross call him out?
Yeah,
too?
Ross was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. And with that.
Peace. I must sleep.
And I want a close up of that too. All right, beautiful.